Assalamu alaikum, Priya Darshak. You're watching Business Talk, and my name is SUFI. And this show is all about business, finding out about the successful people in our community, also finding out their business, what they do, and how they become successful. And today we're talking about property. We're talking about not about buying and selling property. We're talking about property, how to improve your property. And we decorate our property. We can make our property 10 to 15% higher, especially doing kitchens, bathroom, decorating the house, anything in the house, but mainly in the kitchens and bathroom. That actually gives your property at least 10 to 15%. And to help us with this tonight, I have a special guest. Some of you probably seen some of the Bangladeshi TV and seen in the media advert campaigning called Classic Kitchens. They've been established in East London area for about 26 years, and they've been running our community. So I have a special guest who's here with me. His name is Mohammed Sheikh. From Classic Kitchen, Managing Director. Welcome to Business Talk and Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much for having me on today.
Okay, thank you very much for Sheikh by coming to the show. I'm not sure if you have watched my program, but this program is about business. We talk about any kind of product. I tend to bring every 2 weeks products, anything with the house or any kind of business. Today we're going to talk about kitchens and fitted cupboard and wardrobe and that kind of stuff about improvement. Absolutely. And I'm sure our viewers who's watching, if they have any question to ask you, they'll be able to ring you in the studio as well. And they should see in the short while the telephone number on the studio is scrolling. After the Bangla Mattarba, English Mattarba Saile, my guest is here. He's not actually Bengali tonight here, so it's not a problem. If I talk to anyone in Bengali, don't get confused. I will translate.
That's fine.
The first questions are obviously, thank you for coming and giving your time. Just tell me a little bit about Classic Kitchens and how long it's been established. As I mentioned, it's been 26 years roughly, but tell me how you actually started this business.
The business was started by my father approximately 26 years ago. And slowly over the years, I've been personally involved for about 12 years now. And we also have my younger brother involved in the business as well for the last 3 or 4 years. So very much a family-run business, definitely.
And where are you actually based here?
We're based in Forest Gate. We're off on a side street between Upton Lane and Green Street. So usually, unless you've been recommended to us, most people don't often know that we're there or are quite surprised that we've been there for such a long time. But because we get most of our business by word of mouth, okay, it tends to work okay.
Sheikh, the reason I got into my show tonight is basically we're talking about improving home. We talked about so many my program about property, buying property, selling property. So we know how to buy and sell and things, But when it comes to making money, it's a key things of making money in the property. I believe. I don't know what you think. It's basically improving house. Like I always say to friends, when you buy a car, you can buy a car for £1,000 and put air freshener and hoover your car, and you can get value in £100 or £200. When you buy a house, if you do a lick of paint of your house, it can give you at least 3-4% more. But when it comes to the kitchens, improving, that gives your house 10 to 15%. I mean, this is the experience people usually say. And when I buy my house, I tend to do that to make the price higher. So what kind of, what would you say to the viewers today, to when they want to decorate the kitchen, what kind of thing they should look for? What sort of thing nowadays in the fashion? Can you just tell us a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. What we've noticed very much over the last 5 years is the fact that a lot of people now enjoy sort of an open plan living style to the home. So what that essentially means is that they knock down the internal walls. So the kitchen is no longer a room where you just have a door, close it off, and all your guests and relatives sit in a separate room. Nowadays, you tend to find that the kitchen is the hub of the home. So you'll have most people surrounding themselves inside the kitchen. We're also trying to enjoy the outside space as much as possible. So we have a lot of extensions have bifold doors at the back that they can open out. So you get a very much inside-outside open feel. And most definitely, I think people are realizing that we get busier. So we want to integrate the family a lot more together.
That's right, yeah.
So you'll tend to find that a lot of people will spend majority of their time now centered around the kitchen.
Is it mainly those style came from Australia? Is that how how did they
Absolutely.
come?
America and Australia,
Australia, they tend to use
very,
that.
very big on open plan.
Sheikh Bhai, we're going to see some of your clips, what you actually do. So I'm not sure if they're controlling if they're ready. Let's see the clips if it's available. Those just clips we saw is lovely kitchen. I mean, these are the things. I mean, most millions of pounds a house they tend to use. Obviously, your client majority. I mean, you do campaign in Asian channel, especially Bangladeshi channel as well. So I'm sure there's lots of Bengali people actually use your product. So what kind of product they tend to get? Do they go this kind of product or slightly lower range, or you know?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think as a family business, we firmly believe that everyone should have a nice kitchen in their home. It's very important to make sure that the kitchen that you have is suited to the requirements. So we definitely know that the requirements for Asian households or English households or even Jewish households are very, very different.
Because looking at those kitchens, and we talked about this before, about the open plan. I love open plan. I talked to you before the show.
Sure.
Inshallah, I might be buying a house and do open plan, that kind of design kitchen. But the problem is with Bengali or Asians, I would say when we cook, our curry is very strong smells.
Absolutely.
So how do you overcome with this,
Well, yes, one of the main things about any Asian household is obviously the amount of cooking. Absolutely. Yeah. I think one thing we like to educate our Asian clients about is the benefit of having good extraction in the room. So
to have a quality,
absolutely.
Quality stuff.
If they're going to spend money and invest money in something, it should be the extraction because of the way we cook, because of the spices that we use, the grease and so on and so forth, to keep the kitchen clean and make it a lot more easier to keep clean and maintain the room. The extraction in the room is absolutely vital.
Because just looking at your clips, I mean, those are the types of kitchen actually gives nowadays. If you put one of those kitchen in your property to sell this property in market, I think it sells really quickly. Yeah. Even anything from 500 to upper end. But what kind of customer do you get? Like what sort of customer do you tend to get from all different range of property people, or?
Absolutely.
Because you wouldn't put something like that. There's no disrespect to your viewers who's got £300,000 house or something, but the space of the house probably won't suit unless you do extension. So
I would probably say that 60%, 70% of our work is all in extensions.
All extension.
So people have usually decided they're going to stay in the home, they're going to bring up the kids in the home, and they're going to invest in the home. Because obviously, as you know very well, the cost of moving in the stamp duty alone is quite expensive. So when people find the home that they like or the area they like, it's usually much more cost effective to extend the home than it is to move.
I mean, I've got a friend, I've been to his house a couple of weeks ago, and he's done similar kind of kitchens, and he spent huge money, over 20 grand. And I firstly thought it was a waste of money, and then I'm thinking, no, he invested. And the same thing he said, like, because I want to live here, so I want you to make my house, dream house, what I can afford. And he made his dream kitchen for his wife,
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, when, how do you, if someone wants to get a kitchen from your company, how advanced they need to tell you, and how do you actually go and, do you go and measure it? Do you go and check the site, or?
Sure, absolutely. The first thing we always do is make an appointment to go and see them in the home. I think it's very important. Some customers will say, can I bring the measurements to you? But I think it's very important to go into the home because you get a feeling of how they've decorated the other spaces. You get a feeling of what they like, the style that they like, and also being in the space as well, you get an idea of what they like about their current kitchen and also what they don't like about their current kitchen as well.
Okay. So, I mean, do you have an interior designer who actually goes and give advice to people, or people have usually they have on their, they know what they're doing, or?
Well, I think a lot of people often think that everyone is an interior designer to some degree. You know, you watch enough TV programs, and there's lots of them on the TV
Grand
at the
Design,
moment.
yeah.
Grand designs, and
Yeah.
they, you know, everyone thinks they've got a certain knack for it. But in our wider team, we have interior designers, we have architects that work along with us as well, along with all sorts of various tradespeople. So we tend to provide the client with as much or as little as they need for their home.
Okay, you know, you got granite worktop, and what other worktop? You got three types of worktop, ain't it? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, we're gonna take a short break.
Sure.
We're gonna take a short break. It's Maghrib Azan's here, so just stay with us after the Maghrib break. We'll be back again. So stay with us, and we'll be talking about more about that improvement property. Assalamu alaikum.